Deploying direct!
What's going on, everyone? I hope you had a wonderful and amazing 2024, moving into 2025. Let's get this season rolling. So that's what I'm doing now. It's my slow season. This is when I take advantage of getting things done in the hobby. So today, what I'm doing is, previously and for months, I've been flying with my setup. I've had two short connectors connected to my charger. It's kind of been sitting like this in an angle, and it wasn't flat on the table when I charged from my charge port. So I've extended my ISDT parallel charger cables, and I made them long enough to now, when they're plugged into the charger, this can sit flat on the desk or table, and I can charge properly. So today, what I really want to get into is, I'd like to take a minute, because I thought of something one day while getting ready to, while building this one here, actually, right? I was thinking, I've seen a couple events right at the field, maybe not often, but sometimes we do catch wires that become unsoldered, right? So I was thinking maybe someone isn't soldering properly. Maybe they're grabbing the wires, they stick them in these alligator clips here, you prop them up, you put them together here, and then you solder. And that is completely wrong. You always want to pre-tin the wires. So pre-tin, you want to grab the solder iron, apply heat to the end here, and once it gets hot enough, you should be able to push the solder wire into the wire, and it should be able to absorb it completely. You don't want it to just grab the outside of the wire. You want it to completely submerge or take in the solder. And if it fully takes in the solder, and then you add a little tin here, meaning you just want to put the soldering iron on it, drop a little solder in there, keep the heat, and you'll see it spread. Once it spreads, you know for sure that it's attached itself properly to this actual metal here. It's like a brass. The solder that I use is a 60-40 solder. It's not really that thick, but regardless, the point is the 60-40. So 40% of that solder has flux, and you need flux. It's very important to use flux if you have solder that does not have flux within the solder, because the flux is what allows the metal to accept that solder and hold it properly. So what I like to do, I'm going to do it really quick. I'm going to show you when I pre-tin this and I pre-tin this side here, and right before I mate them together, right? So I'm going to show you that really quick. I'm just going to, all right, so I've already pre-tinned one side here. You can see the solder's inside. See how it's sitting in there like water. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come in on this side and show you. Apply the heat, grab your solder, add just a little drop, keep that heat there, and you can watch it grab right there. You see that? Sorry for the bumps. So now that that's set, I'm going to push this over to the side, and I'm going to come here. And we're going to put, I like to use a little solder on it, hold it in an angle. I don't like to use the tip, because we're not soldering something very fine. We're soldering something kind of thick. So you want to just prop that on the side there, add a little solder, let it sit, it'll heat up, and then once it heats up properly, you'll be able to see when it flows right into the wire. Yet what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop right here, because I want you to see something, right? If you look at this, this is not fully pre-tinned. I don't know if you can see that, but look at the bottom there. See that? Look, no solder at all. And over here, the solder's just sitting on the top, right? I don't want that. I want it to absorb it completely. That way when it's connected to this connector, it'll have a full connection. So let's check it out really quick. We're gonna heat, and then we're gonna add some more solder. All right, there we go. And after I notice that it's spread completely, I'll get underneath and hold it underneath. And once I have it underneath, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the solder from the top. This is how I know that it's flowing properly through the wire, because it's entering the top and it's falling through the bottom. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. All right, and I'm going to show you really quick what it looks like in the end. Right, check it out. If you look really good, You can see it's all the way around, and if you look on the end, it's completely absorbed the solder. Okay, so to me this is a good connection. I'm a little different. I don't mind holding the wire. I'm okay with a little heat. If you aren't, and you want to sit it in here, grab, align everything properly on the correct side, and then get it to work together. But I'll just hold it up, grab my wire, come right back in here, and then I'll add this to my negative side. I'll just press down right into the connector, and once you apply the heat and you hold it long enough, you'll actually feel it sink right into the connector. And then you just leave it a little longer and you look at everything and you'll watch it all set properly. It'll just flow as if it's made it together. So I'm just gonna hold it, and you can see here as I'm holding it, it hasn't moved yet, and it's getting there. I can see it. There we go. It's starting to sink, but it hasn't sunk all the way yet. Now, well, you can see how everything's moving together. You see? So now we're good. It's actually sat. So to me, this is a perfect solder right here. Look. All the way around. When it's grabbed on, pretty good. See? Perfect. So before we go, I'm probably going to show you a bad solder. Maybe I'll simulate as if I've only tinned one side and I didn't tin the other side. And we'll try to struggle with it a little bit and see what happens. Let's see. I never do this, so I'll grab a little solder here, and let's see how this goes. And then from here, we'll apply that pressure with the heat, and we'll see how that goes. Just for show, if it makes any sense. I think so. There we go. It's sitting, it's sitting, it's sitting, it's sitting. It just sat right in. I'm going to remove it, and I want you to see what it looks like if it isn't proper. So if you look here on this positive side, you can see here right against the metal, the brass connector and the wire itself, it's not as wet as it should be with the solder. If you look at the other side, it's completely wet. So this is bad. This you'll have problems with. This will heat up really quick and it'll pop loose. So just wanted to give a quick tip. That's what I would do normally. I would make sure that it's as it is here on the negative side and not on the positive. Pre-tin first. Protect your desk from drips, especially your beautiful mats that you have. So that's why I use this wood here. Sometimes you can use metal depending on preference. And you guys get out and have some fun flying. Thank you.
Ellie, direct!